Let's talk about sex. Now, this is definitely one of my favorite topics and something I enjoy doing in my spare time. But it's also a topic that brings up some feelings of anxiety. I was chatting to a girlfriend of mine who's going through this sexual liberation at the moment. And what we realized was that a lot of the things we knew about sex, or the way that we were taught about sex, was fear-based. Really, growing up, the first things you learn as a teenager or someone who's becoming a teenager are the facts of sex, the matter-of-fact clinical approach to it, the birds and the bees, if you will. But then you're taught how scary sex is, and they lead with this very fear-based approach. You learn things such as, if you don't wear a condom, for a girl, you'll get pregnant, you'll get an STI, for gay guys, you'll probably get HIV. And this fear that surrounds the initial association we make with sex kind of carries on through the rest of our lives. As a gay guy who became a teenager in the late 90s, what I saw in the media really reiterated this point. It was the end of the 90s, which was a decade where a lot of gay guys died of AIDS, and a lot of fear was generated around the HIV epidemic and AIDS in general. The sexual health message was, wear a condom or you will get HIV. And HIV doesn't discriminate. And you can get it too if you're not careful. And there was a famous Grim Reaper advert that came out, I think it was the late 80s or early 90s, which was quite terrifying for the world. And this really led the conversation around safe sex for gay men. Even as I grew up and learnt the wonders and joys of sex, that residual fear carried on. Every time I was to have sex with someone, I would get nervous that I had caught something, even if I had used protection. And days later, if I had a sniffle, or if my throat was itchy, or if I had an allergic reaction to something, I would just imagine that was it, that I had caught an incurable disease, or I had caught an STI. I hope, and I don't know, but I'd love to hear from younger gay guys that sexual education has changed, that it's more about how to have safe, healthy, fun sex, and how to make informed choices. And I hope nowadays there's a lot more of a conversation around it. Because when I was growing up, it was very matter-of-fact, it was very clinical, it was very fear-based, and this really had a lasting impact on the way that I viewed sex. It's taken me quite some time to unpick all that fear around sex, but even still, it comes up, and I don't think ever I can be completely free or completely liberated. And I wonder if that's a reason so many gay guys turn to drugs and alcohol before they have sex. While I still advocate for safe sex or risk minimization, I do feel that we should be able to enjoy sex. And it's a shame that there has been so much fear around it for both gay guys and for girls. And I really hope that as we grow up and as we have more conversations like this, we can find a way to approach sex that's a lot more enjoyable. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, sex is meant to be fun, and we really shouldn't be scared to be having it.